Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. Check out this article from fingerlakes1.com. And if you're in the market to buy a house, you're gonna wanna pay attention to this article because weird stuff is happening to the market. And check this out. Let me read a little bit from the article and then I'll jump in with my analysis of it. But basically, the title of this article is called Housing Market. June sees sales fall, prices rise. Will there be a housing market recession or a crash? It's very interesting. This is a really great article here. Let me read a little bit of it. The housing market has been one of the most impacted markets since the pandemic began, and now homeowners, homebuyers, and experts fear the potential for a housing market recession or crash. As interest rates reach new heights and housing market runs low on inventory, Americans are finding the American dream more unattainable. The pandemic, supply and demand, and inflation have done a number on the housing market. So let's jump in on this real quick. Okay, this is really interesting. So what the pandemic did was basically lower rates, right, to record low rates because the government shut down and the government needed a way to stimulate the economy, right? So basically, all hell would have broke loose if they didn't. So that created, unbelievably record low interest rates. Then supply and demand. Well, because everything was crazy, you couldn't even look at houses. I mean, there was so many restrictions, especially in states like California and New York. It was very difficult, and then people were scared. When people are buying a home, remember, it's got to be a happy time, right? And with the pandemic, people were like, you know what, we will wait. And what that ended up happening was that it created, a supply shortage. So the few houses that were being sold suddenly had huge increase in prices, right? Over through the course of 2020 all the way through 2022, the beginning of 2022. So then what ended up happening is we ended up printing so much money that now we have inflation. And what inflation has done was it has now made it too expensive for people to build houses. So now because basically the employees and all the material costs and stuff like that, it's too expensive. So now we have we're in a really weird situation where we printed too much money from the pandemic. We're raising the rates, so that money is done. We have inflation and we still have a supply problem. And that's why some houses did, prices continue to rise, in June, which is kind of crazy. So here the article kind of goes through the stats, and they basically said, here, I like this line right here. While sales are dropping, prices are rising. For the first time in the month of May, the median price for purchasing a home surpassed $400,000. In June of 2021, the median was $366,000. It's so crazy because the problem is it's gonna make it really hard for the regular Joe to go in and buy at this price. So overall, this is the 124th month in a row of increases. So here, the housing market recession explained. The housing market started to climb in 2001 and now the market has been turning over, meaning we're in a housing recession, according to Fortune. Data shows that in the month of June, builders started building almost 1 million single-family homes. That's 19% less than of February of 2022 and 16% less than June of 2021. This means that builders are scaling back on the numbers of homes they're building in order to compete against the existing home inventory that's starting to spike. John Burns Real Estate Consulting told Fortune that this existing home inventory will rise and home building will slow down. According to this person, okay, so there will be some changes. So basically, again, but this also, thinking about inflation, it is costing builders more money to build. So it's hard for them to compete right now with the existing housing market. So let me see. This includes a housing recession potentially pushing home prices lower in regional markets where prices are bubbling. He believes price cuts will start happening in 2023 and 2024 in cities like Phoenix, Nashville, West Palm Beach, Las Vegas, and Austin. This could be good news for home buyers, guys. Did you read that right here? 2023, 2024, like I've been saying. Good news for home buyers. Some markets may feel a housing bust as builders choose not to build at all in regional markets. The Federal Reserve chose to sell bonds this year, which pushed mortgage rates up. This made it so that the housing boom would slow down, which was a major cause of inflation, right? Because basically, they were giving away too much money for too cheap. So the government was printing way too much. Plus, all the money that it printed during COVID, that's why inflation is rampant right now. Here, let's read this quote. I'd say if you're a homeowner, somebody young person looking to buy a home, you need a bit of a reset. We need to get back to a place where supply and demand are back together, where inflation is down low again and mortgage rates are low again. Check that out. That is the Federal Chair, Jerome Powell. That says everything. Right now, there's not an equilibrium right now. Right now, things are kind of off. If the housing market is entering a recession, does that mean we could head for a housing market crash? So ex-White House economic advisor Stephen Moore said that the housing market crash is a big concern. Moore is a former advisor to President Donald Trump. He stated he's nervous over the state of the housing market as inflation and prices of homes continue to rise and builders slow down. I'm really nervous about the housing market. We've had a red hot housing market for 5 or 6 years, and he added that he praised that we weren't hitting a housing bubble like in 2008 when it burst, the economy collapsed. You see, I don't totally think that I know that there is a housing bubble, but I don't believe that the crash is going to come from the housing bubble. I think houses are going to drop because the economy is going to crash somewhere else. And it would have essentially bring housing with it, right? But basically, to tackle inflation, unfortunately, we need to put a reset into the economy, which is gonna kind of cause crazy stuff to happen. And we gotta balance the books. And in the process, that's pretty much what's gonna bring the housing market down. But it's not gonna be like, oh wait, where it's gonna crash overnight. I think it's gonna go down over a period of time. That's why 2024 might be an amazing time to buy. So what do we need to do is literally save as much money as possible. So to finish the article, Florida sees demands drop to a 22-year low with the high interest rates for mortgages. So basically, nobody wants to buy a house right now with the mortgages, knowing that a year ago they could have bought it for, half the rate, right? Why would they want to buy it now? Everything becomes so expensive. And if the houses are still expensive, then most likely what it means is that you're not going to be able to afford to get what you really want. And buying a house is an emotional decision. So if you're not getting what you want, then you're probably going to wait it out. But in the process of waiting, what we're going to definitely see is a slowdown in the economy, which most likely will then bring down the housing market with it. That's kind of my personal analysis. Now, I am not a financial advisor and I make these videos for entertainment purposes only. But if you do like these videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.